And that can be very difficult. I think particularly in a woman's chart, if she has moon in a Bhukta Mula, I say categorically that it means her mother was not there for her in a very important way when she was born, when she was a baby. And I sincerely say that I have consistently found that creates a very difficult script for marriage and mothering. And certainly, you know, if you have your moon there, get in touch with me for a reading and we can analyse whether that declaration is authentic and true for you, and if so, what healing you can bring in. Anyway, so Mars turns retrograde at 3 degrees Aries on the 10th of September, retrograding back through the Gandanta zone for the second time into Vedic Pisces. But note that Mars doesn't actually quite get to Vedic Pisces at the end of September. At the end of September, he just has got back to 1 Aries. So all of September, Mars is in Ashwini Nakshatra. And of course, he's square Saturn, Pluto, and widely Jupiter. Now, Mars finally ends this retrograde period at 21 Pisces on the 14th of November. And then he's going forward again, forward to the end of Pisces, forward for the 3rd time through the Pisces-Aries Gandanta zone, and onward into Aries. And you have to try and visualise, well, what is the energy of Mars in Aries and Mars in Ashwini Nakshatra, which is the nakshatra for the first portion of Aries. And it can be very, very good to visualise the just warrior, the spiritual warrior, the healing warrior. Those should be our ideals, and we can do, you know, for example, shamanic journeys or visualizing journeys to visualize those figures. And then we can have a relationship with them. I do this sort of stuff. I find it quite wonderful. Envisioning gods and goddesses who are faces of the ultimate divine. And even arising as deity. I did quite a lot of that in a 5-year field study I did from 1998, particularly within the context of Tibetan Buddhism, where the focus of the study was spiritual pathways new to the modern West: Hinduism, Buddhism, paganism, shamanism, and utopian community. So I've laid stress on this Mars in Aries, square Saturn, and the Mars turning retrograde and then direct on the 14th of November. Note that date. Partly because he's so strong in Aries, and partly because when he stations at the end of his retrograde and turns direct, he is super slow and so super powerful. And the whole thing is that socially this could mean riot or war. Now, given that the US presidential election is supposed to be in November, I do feel that the 14th of November Mars station with the 14th of December eclipse, and that eclipse in the same place as the second of the 9/11 eclipses, the Twin Towers, will sadly manifest in real rioting in the United States. So do see my video and blog on the effect of the December eclipse on the mental stability of Donald Trump, because it's conjunct his natal moon Ketu. And very important to note that all the time Mars is transiting Pisces, for the United States this will mean fighting in the homeland. And that's because Pisces is the 4th house of the US chart. And indeed, when Mars was going through it before, just recently, before he entered Aries, there was fighting in the homeland. Goodness. So note that while Mars transits Aries, he's in his own sign and he's very strong as a result, and his strength can either be positive or negative depending on our consciousness. And there's another important point that I want to bring in here. This is very important. There are actually 5 planets that are strong in their own sign in September 2020. 5 planets, not just Mars. There's Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and for a brief time the Moon. This is unparalleled, and powerful times are indicated, powerful socially, but also potentially very powerful in the development of our consciousness and the events in our lives. Mercury transits Virgo from September the 2nd to September the 21st. Jupiter transits Sagittarius, the sign he rules, all month. Saturn transits Capricorn, the sign he rules, all month. And the Moon is in Cancer, the sign he rules, from the 13th to the 15th of September. So, my goodness, watch out, be aware, embrace it. Don't get sucked into the negative facets of the strength that fivefold will be with us. So, I think the final question is, how can I improve my understanding of Mars? How can I improve my personal Mars? So it's so worthwhile to see the analysis of Mars offered in your Vedic birth chart. So worthwhile too to see the analysis of Mars offered by psychodynamic astrology, and particularly, of course, including Chiron. As I said, you can get a reading from me through my Star Wheel Astrology buy page. Work with your personal Mars is so important in September 2020. We have to develop a perception of ourself and our scripts that is as closely aligned to the divine consciousness as we can manage. This way we can recognize the negative scripts and seek to avoid them. This way we can recognize the special talents we incarnated to achieve and support and maximize them in this lifetime. Above all, this way we can seek alignment to our soul nature. So I hope this was helpful. You can enroll for a reading with me on my Star Wheel Astrology buy page. My wife Maggie Pashley offers a very wide range of very different healing modalities worldwide. See her website, www.maggiepashley.com. The Mars through Aries transit and Mars total transit for the rest of the year needs to be understood. Our personal Mars needs to be healed. The horrific potential at the social level of this Mars transit for the rest of this year needs to be managed by each of us in as far as we can, so that we make one of the better contributions to the society we live in, even if that society will embrace the most violent possibilities of the Mars transit for the end of 2020. So thanks very much.